right, got to talk a little Damian Lillard. He's put out some cryptic tweets lately that have seemed to indicate perhaps some frustration with the Blazers. So when the cameras caught up with him at Summer League, they asked him if he was happy. Here is his answer.
I'm straight up with Coach. I'm straight up with Neil. I'm straight up with y'all. I'm not unhappy. I love where I live. I love the organization. I love our coaching staff. I love where I am. I just, like I said last year, it's the urgency of wanting to, make those steps in the right direction so we can compete.
Dave, what are you hearing as you hear Damian talk there?
Well, two things. What happens when a general manager says he's happy with the coach? It means he's not happy with the coach. It should be implied that the happiness is already there. Beyond that, I always think back to Kevin Garnett saying, after he had already had a success with the Celtics, that, man, I wish I got out of Minnesota earlier. Loyalty is one thing, but you only get one ride in this league, and he's gone 6 straight years in Portland, really made a name for himself in this league there, and they've given him the platform to do so, but the winning has not been at a level commensurate of his talents. And at what point does he look at other guys around this league who are able to force themselves into better situations and say, you know what, time for me to do the same thing?
The thing I'm going to say, Dave, though, is he's, in that sense, it's almost like giving up the power. The thing that Kevin Garnett didn't do enough of was leverage his front office and leverage his ownership into making the changes that need to happen. And I think Damian Lillard has that power in Portland. He doesn't need to say, trade me, because it's not going to work out here. He has the power to make things happen where people are going to have to worry about their jobs if need be. And for me personally, I don't have a dog in the race, but I'd like to see him work it out in Portland and take advantage of his superstar power in the purest form. But the other thing, Rachel, happiness is a journey, not a destination. Say happy today, might not be happy tomorrow. The idea is that the team has to work to continuously make sure that he's happy.
It's a very, thoughtful episode of The Jump today. We're getting all of these life philosophies. I
like
it.
Aerosmith lyric there.
You guys saw on the screen just a minute ago, Damian giving out shoes just a couple weeks ago. He is loved by the community there and made a big deal about how much he loves being there. So I believe all of that stuff from him. I am curious, though, to see what happens long-term with him in this franchise. And he gave up flexibility to a degree when he signed that contract. He's under contract to them for 3 more years. So he would have to ask for a trade if he really does want to leave. A means route of just pushing some buttons might be what we see next from him. We'll have to find out. I do want to get to the other newsworthy comments that he made while he was here in Las Vegas, talking about WNBA players. And by the way, a bunch of NBA players, including Damian Lillard, went to a Las Vegas Aces game the other night. Damian said, quote, "The WNBA players deserve to make a lot more money than they do. I think it is time people start recognizing that they are professional athletes and they should be treated like that." And I want to note, this has been a rising conversation in WNBA circles. And it's not because, guys, WNBA players think they should be paid as much as NBA players. They recognize the difference in how much money each league brings in. But they do want a higher percentage of their league's revenue. Remember, NBA players get about 50% of what the league calls basketball-related income. A Forbes report last year estimated that WNBA players only get about 25% of BRI. So, what's your reaction overall, especially when Lillard comes out like this?
Well, Rachel, 25% is actually saying it too nice. It's actually closer to around 22%, the BRI split for the WNBA players versus the league. And I had the opportunity to interview Asia Wilson, Kayla McBride, Mariah Jefferson from the Las Vegas Aces the other day, and that's what we talked about. It's not about, hey, LeBron made 154 mil this week, where's my 154 mil? It's the idea that why is the league taking such a lion's share of the basketball-related income when at the end of the day, if there are no players, there's no league. And so that's something that, unfortunately, collectively bargained, so you got to have to fight for it. But the weird thing is, Rachel, when you think about WNBA players, the advantage they have over NBA players is they can sit out a lockout of a year, 2 years, 10 years if they want. You know why? Because during the regular season, during their off season, it's a regular season in Europe. So they can go and get paid and take care of their families without having to worry about a WNBA check.
And maybe part of the reason why we haven't seen the WNBA grow quite as much as some basketball fans would like it to be after 15 years of being around is because players feel compelled to go overseas because the money's better there, they're treated better there. If the WNBA took better care of their marquee athletes, perhaps they wouldn't find a need for that, and we would get even better product on the court in the States with WNBA. So, you know, you want the league to succeed. The way you do that is invest in your own players.
Absolutely. And look, this is a difficult thing when it comes to negotiations like this. The NBA started the WNBA and certainly funded that league at the beginning in a way that tells you that the league's intentions overall toward women's basketball are positive. They launched this league on purpose because they wanted to provide that professional outlet for young basketball players in this country, and also because they thought it was good business to invest in female basketball players, which it is. The question now is how much of that amount of the pot is going to go to the players themselves. There's an option in the collective bargaining agreement that is open next year. I have a feeling the players are going to take that as a chance to renegotiate.